Bob? You have it all set up. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. The one thing this country needs, the one thing, compassion. Earlier this week, the news reported an incident that occurred on a Southwest Airlines flight. A woman claimed she was choked by the man behind her after she reclined her seat back. According to the airline and witnesses, did you hear about this?
No.
Now, I know there's not a ton of legroom on airlines these days, but does that make it okay for somebody to choke another person out for reclining their seat back? And then yesterday I hear about this 4-year-old who died after being shot in a road rage incident in New Mexico. And we had another police officer shot and killed in New York City. And these are just 3 incidents that I can recall off the top of my head. And tonight, any one of us can go home and watch the news and see more cases of violence against human beings. And to be honest, these are mild compared to some of the tragedies that this country has endured in the last 15 to 20 years. So what's wrong? What's happened to us? It's a rhetorical question, but the problem needs to be examined in more detail. And I'm speaking specifically of us who live in the United States. Why are we so mean to each other? And I'm thinking you're probably sitting there saying, well, you know, people are mean to each other in many other parts of the country or the world. But you know what? I'm not concerned with what's happening 3 doors down the street if I have a problem in my own backyard. You get my drift? We have a problem here in the United States. What's happened to compassion, human kindness? Have we thrown it by the wayside? Incidentally, did you know that our entire human existence is reliant on the help of others, and that the foundation of it is love? But where has that love gone? And not only that, we've got people who are running for the highest office in this country, a person like Donald Trump, who condones and instigates negative behavior toward other human beings. Think about the things that he said about Mexicans, women, and more recently, President Bush. Do you think that he cares one bit about the person next to him? Or is he only worried about himself? And if you've seen or heard any clips of Donald Trump, you already know the answer to this. He only cares about himself and belittling others. But why do I single him out with regard to this topic? Because there are millions of people in this country who align their beliefs with a person like this who wants to be the next president. Not 10 or 100, millions. And now what does that say about the country we live in? That so many people stand behind what he says. I mean, he's basically said, screw everything and everyone. Who cares about immigrants and their filthy, lice-ridden kids? We're going to deport all 12 million of them. Oh, and by the way, you don't like it? Well, screw you anyway. But let's forget about Donald Trump for just a moment. Did you know I'm sometimes hesitant to drop my kids off at school, go to the movie with them, or take them to the mall? Do you know where this hesitation comes from? Mass shootings. And it is this unhealthy desire to inflict pain on others, whether mentally or physically, that will doom this country and make it an unsafe place for our children and grandchildren to live. And maybe a few of the things that I've said might not sit well with you today. And you may think that, well, you know what? Anger and hatred are just part of human nature, and we just have to deal with it. But I don't know about you. I've tried my best to deal with it. And I'm tired of seeing it on the news here in our community. We need more compassion in this country. And we need to stop blaming others for the things that you do and the things that I do for our actions. We don't need to pass more laws. We don't need to blame the leaders of this country. Instead, we need to worry about our daily activities, the things that we do when we walk out this door, when we leave this meeting today. That's where we need to start. We need to start closer to home, in our backyard, and we need to be nicer. We need to remove the biggest obstacle to compassion, anger and hatred, because these are two very powerful emotions that can overwhelm the human mind. If we do this, we'll be on our path to compassion and happiness. What I'd like you to do today is think about what you can do with your words or your actions for the rest of the day on how you can make someone else happy. Have you ever helped someone who was pulled off the side of the road, maybe help them change a tire? How did you feel afterward? I bet you felt pretty good, right, to help somebody else out? Feel happy? And it is this happiness that will have a profound and effective impact on not only the United States of America, but our human community, our entire human community. So what I'd like you to do today, your call to action when you walk out this door, to get us on this path to compassion and happiness, is to do something that Princess Diana asked of us years ago. And that is to carry out a single act of kindness with no expectation of reward, safe in the knowledge that maybe someday someone will do the same for you. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Nicely done.